feel like I'm missing something.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Office Hours.
That was a very librarian office hours.
That's true.
Hello, and welcome to Office Hours.
There we go. Oh, I'm so sorry for what's about to happen to your ears. I pushed the wrong button. It's about to be, oh man, I just blasted your guys' ears so bad. I'm so sorry. Oh no. I hit a button. It was just like, music.
Oh no. Sorry.
I apologize for that. The audio is on in our YouTube stream that I'm using for chat because I was watching the new Lady Gaga music video at full volume. So thanks for being here with us today instead of watching Lady Gaga's new music video. Hello, my name is Andrew Hochradel. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I am a designer, creative. I'll do a little bit of everything, streamer, branding, whatever you want. And I'm here to help you with office hours to help level up your portfolios. You can follow me online at hoch.co, HOCHDOTCO. Nick, who are you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Nick. I am Nick Longo, owner of Longo Designs here in Los Angeles. Currently teaching at Cal State Northridge here in LA as well. Again, here to kind of help you guys get through these next few months and increase the chances of getting a job, getting hired. We're helping you with your portfolio. We're talking type today, so we're really excited about it.
It is my zone. It is my thing. I love type so bad. Type and texture was my hashtag for a long time.
Oh, that's a cool one.
When I was getting my sea legs in a style, hashtag type and texture.
Nice, dude. Oh, look at all the people showing up, dude. This is great.
Hello, friends.
Awesome.
Hello. Yes.
Yo, Andreas.
Cody, Victor. So many fun people hanging out in chat today. Nick is wearing a cool shirt. Nick, I think we like your shirt.
This is from Adobe Live, man.
Hey.
I'm sorry, Adobe Max.
Adobe Max. Yes. And yes, Lisa, let's get those jobs, people. Let's get jobs. Let's get internships. Let's get your portfolios going. Get you guys ready for the summer and to move into what is next. Super exciting.
Definitely.
All right, Nick, do you want to have a little bit of preview of maybe what's coming up later in the stream today?
Ooh,
little tease.
A little bit later, we are going to drop some trivia on you because the winner will win another 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud.
Ooh.
What a gift. What a gift. Our buddy William got it last week.
Yep.
I don't know. Right. Maybe it's Andy's turn. Maybe it's Olivia's turn. I have no idea.
Who knows? So we'll be doing trivia at the end of the stream. I promise that I will end early so that we will not get cut off because it is my fault every single week. I talk way too much. We also have some good vibe checks today. We got some music in the background. We are leveling up the production on this show for you. Somebody mentioned it, but you can go and let me make sure this is not the right bit.ly. Don't go. I mean, you can go here, like definitely go here and like be a part of this community at the AI Discord, but you also can go here and be a part of this community at our Slack channel for the show, for students, for anyone who wants advice and help with their portfolios. And yes, Cody Bear, you can also hashtag Adobe Office Hours to submit your portfolios, and make sure you keep that hashtag in mind because that may be, who knows, a giveaway that's happening throughout the week after this stream.
We're going to be dropping gifts on you even when we're not here.
It's true. It's true. So a little tease for that. Stay tuned to the end of the stream. We will be doing an extra giveaway this week using that hashtag Adobe Office Hours. So, Nick, we're 5 minutes in. Woo. Do we have any other announcements? I don't think so.
I think we're good.
Yeah, can we both warm up our hands at the same time? I just heard it and it sounded cool. There's a little ASMR for you guys. That was
a little Miyagi-san there.
Yes, exactly. All right, Nick, I'm going to cut to the screen, and I'm just going to have you take it away and talk to us a little bit about type.
Let's talk about these topics, man. These are, we've done, between, I'm sure, yourself, me, a few other designers, I know we've been doing a lot of portfolio reviews over the last 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
All started with CancelCon, then everything else we were doing, we just did it with our class. And I gotta admit, in asking reviewers what the number one thing they talked about was, it was typography. And it was just those little sticklers, those things that you can, a trained eye can see from very, very far away.
Yep.
And as young designers, maybe, and even myself sometimes, I miss those because we're glued to our screen so much. So we wanted to do a typography tune-up, basically. And these are just some quick topics, but we can dive into these a little bit more in detail. This first one is all about your font choice. And as that goes with anything, font choice is so important because fonts have personalities. Fonts need to kind of match exactly what you're trying to say or do. But what do you think on a resume or even on your portfolio? You got to tame it down, I think, a little bit more, even another level, right?
Well, I think that when we talk about, right, fonts having personality, figure out I always tell students is figure out what you want to say and how you want to say it. And type is the first place that you start for that, right?
Yes.
And so when we're talking about toning it down for a resume, maybe if you want to kind of be like, cool, I want to appeal to everything. If I do a resume, I'm going to send them like taped together pieces with like 9 different fonts to let them know who I am, because that's the personality you're going to get. So I think it does. Yeah. It's about conveying that personality.
It definitely reflects it's your biggest tool in creating whatever personality or vibe you're trying to say is, right? So I always say, like, in your case studies and your actual projects, obviously your fonts have to go to that brand and that project, but then the fonts you actually use in your layout of your presentation of that should be a little more streamlined and a little bit more communicative. Don't you agree?
Yeah, totally.
So I guess we can separate, you got fonts that you're using in your projects, but then fonts and typography that you're using in your actual portfolio as well.
Yep. And one thing in chat, let me know, here's a quote for you. This is not a giveaway, it's just a quote to see if you know. There is a designer that says, do not confuse, what is it? Gosh. Do not mistake readability for legibility, I think is what they say. So let me know who that is. If you know in chat. I think that's the right quote. It may be the other way around, but let me know who that is. One of my favorite designers. I should know what the actual quote is, but let me know if you know it in chat.
It makes sense. It totally does. One thing I would say too is avoid the trendy display fonts that you use in your portfolio. We're going to talk a little bit more about it later, but Adobe Fonts gives you no excuse to have great font choices in everything that you're putting together for your portfolio. Like, seriously, like, we were using it so back and forth with my students, because every time I'd have to like tell them about a font, like, hey, try this one. They never had it. So now you can just go on font, you can check it out on Adobe, they can instantly upload it, and they got it. So huge props for that.
Yes.
Is it Carson?
It was David Carson. Yes, that is the correct answer. David Carson.
Nice. Allison was, I think, the first one to chime in there, it looks
got
like.
It. Good job, Allison.
That's great. Yeah.
Allison, send me a DM on Behance here or on Instagram, wherever, and I'll send you one of my fonts. We'll give you some free fonts. Why not? We'll do a giveaway.
Digital swag.
Yes. All right. So next, we want to limit our fonts, right, Nick?
Yes, totally. And this goes for almost everything, except for if a client just goes, put 1,000 fonts on this project. Great. But otherwise, limit it down. I for my actual case studies and things like that, I like to find one family that has multiple variations in weights, right? So you can use thin, thick, condensed, regular, italic. Maybe it even has a version that's slightly different, but it feels part of the family, right? Like, that's, to me, one of the strongest things. Also, try to avoid using 2 fonts that are very similar but slightly different. Professional eyes catch that a mile away. They'll be like, why do you have these 2 fonts and they're so similar? But it looks like a mistake. So making sure you're limiting is 100% one of my favorite things to kind of like consider.
Yeah, and remember, the opposites attract. So what I like to do is, if I have a like really squatty, bold kind of wide, I like to pair it with something that's tall and more established, like Trade Gothic with Druck. And really mixing those two, and it creates this really great dynamic. Another really tall one is called B4. It's on Adobe Fonts, and it's really great to pair with something that is wide and thick.
I like the opposite attract things because it does work with fonts so well. Like, it makes you break out of it and find something on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and then it's going to work a little bit better. So yeah, that might be a fun thing to even dig deeper into in a further episode, is this whole idea of font like pairings.
Yep.
It's an art, right?
Absolutely. And I love the idea, kind of going against the, oh, don't use too many fonts. I'll balance 8 or 9 fonts on one document, just because if you can do it, break the rule, but you have to know how to do it. So that could be fun too to do one week, is like, here's how you pair 8 fonts on a document.
Yeah. And one of them has to be hobo.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. All right. So next up, kerning. And chat, if there are things talking about future shows that you want us to cover in future shows, drop it in chat right now. Let us know as we talk. We have someone who's taking note of those, and we do apply them to the shows. So let us know.
And type questions would be great as well, as we're going through here. If there's anything else we haven't forgotten, or we have forgotten. Kerning, obviously, this is that fine tuning of space between characters, producing streamlined, unified pairings. Those are things that we catch very quickly. They stand out like sore thumbs. So one thing I always say is have a teacher, an instructor, another designer, always look through your finished product to see if there's something maybe that you missed. Because again, our eyes are on this thing so much, you need someone else to kind of look at it. So don't let this filter not happen before you push your portfolio out. It's definitely one of those last minute things that you got to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. The next one is alignment. I think we started to see this a lot in some of the case studies, where I think students get to a point where they want to justify left and justify right and then center, and next thing you know, you've kind of ruined the flow of the path, because there's so much variety going in your justification or your alignment. Just be conscious of this. And also too, your margins, like making sure if you're going to be flush left, which is basically the easiest and the most easiest on the eyes, that's kind of what most people will say with it, is just make sure your alignments are now always aligned. Don't have shifts over back and forth with your layout of your portfolio.
Yep. So. And again, there are ways and reasons to break this idea of the left alignment. And the right side where it's jagged is called the rag. So it's having a right rag. And a little more type trivia for you. If you really want to experiment and try some really different stuff, investigate the Dada movement and look into words in freedom. It's called, and it's a style. Look up a poem called, I believe it's called A Rat's Tale. And it was poetry that was written, but instead of being left aligned or right aligned, it was arranged in a shape of what the poem was about. So it would look like the tale of a rat, or look like, I believe the Jabberwocky is actually written in that style by Lewis Carroll. So look up Words in Freedom style, get a little bit of type history in there.
Yeah. So and someone was mentioning about spelling. We're going to hit that in a sec, but 100%, that totally plays into this thing as well.
Command I.
Exactly. Yeah. And I have it on auto all the time now on like Illustrator and everything. Next one is so important, especially in the layout of your portfolio, is hierarchy. And we're going to see some great ones today, where I think you want to make sure your headline, your subhead, your body copy, a quote, maybe those, I can't think of anything else you might, maybe just descriptive text, captions to a photo. Make sure they are the hierarchy is there. You give proper attention to the fact that your headline should always be the same size. Yep. Your sub should be the same size. And it sounds so elementary, but why are we still seeing so much hierarchy all over the place when it comes to different portfolios? So please make sure, this is another one. You could be looking at this and just making sure, do these things stand out, right? Making sure there's super heavy promptness to what's important, what's secondary, what's third, fourth, and so on. Okay?
Yes. That's funny. Nah-Rek said the Lady Gaga movement, it's called the Dada movement, but Lady Gaga right now is doing, with her new album on Instagram, they're doing type posters that are gorgeous. So if you want some type inspiration, yes, they're quotes from her songs, and they are gorgeous type pieces.
But I believe she's taking a break while we do office hours right now. So don't go there.
Yeah, don't go there.
Go there afterwards.
Go there afterwards, definitely. Yeah.
She knows what's up. Come on.
Absolutely, yes. And Archer, doing optical kerning versus technical kerning, that just means doing it by eye instead of doing it by the machine, what it sets. Sometimes you have to do one, sometimes you have to do the other. Really, there's no right answer there.
That's a tough one, man. And I think that just becomes that thing of doing it more often, like getting into it. I do see a lot of people posting stuff, and I was guilty of it years ago, and not seeing it. And you see this huge gap in something or whatever. It's like, get in there and really kind of fine tune it. And the more you do it, the better. 100%.
Totally.
Next up after hierarchy is a few, these are just those last minute ones, but widows and orphans. Oh my God, remember Victor? Man, he was spotting them out like crazy in CancelCon. And you just don't want to have any of those widow lines that are maybe on a new column and could have been captured with the column prior to it at the end, or those orphans, and those are those single word line breaks where it just floats by itself. There's so many great tools in Illustrator and InDesign and whatever to make sure that this doesn't happen. So do that. Your spell check, obviously, and your grammar are so important. Again, tools like Grammarly, tools like AutoCheck and Spell Check, they help you out immensely. And don't overdo the amount. This is meant for those case studies. Don't write. Remember, I think we've seen a few that like, whoa, that's like a book just describing a sketch. Like limit it. So make sure you're going easy on the person and the viewer here.
And for all those students that are watching, we mentioned CancelCon a couple times. CancelCon is an online creative event. It's coming up again July 11th. You can go to canceledcon.com with 2 L's, and that will take you so you can sign up for the email, get involved, and we will be doing portfolio reviews for pretty much everybody who wants one. We'll try to get in as many as we can. So check out canceledcon.com with 2 L's. All right, Nick, let's hop over and look at some portfolios, do a little bit of feedback. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to Office Hours. We're going to be doing feedback and giving ideas. Today we're looking at type. So these don't necessarily just apply to the people who we are reviewing. It could apply to absolutely everyone.
Totally.
We also have a giveaway coming up in about 20 minutes, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. And we'll be doing a fun giveaway with a little bit of trivia. And thanks, Cody, for dropping that link in there as well. All right, let's hop over to our first portfolio. Mengyi, I believe it is. If you're in chat, let us know. Say hello. I'm very excited to hang out with us. Where do we want to start, Nick?
Let's see. I think we liked, was it Clear Skin we want to start with?
Oh, sure.
Let's do that.
And fair warning, Nick and I are not XD, not UI UX people, but we are going to give our critiques on this as just overall creatives and designers.
Because we still know good design.
If you have a good idea, it's a good idea.
This is great design because I loved this. I think from a person who doesn't do a lot of UI UX, when I see a lot, I do see very similar structures, and sometimes it's hard to tell a few of them apart, right? And that's probably obviously because I get the whole idea and the principles of that design. But her Clear Skin app, wow, man, this to me, as you scroll through this, just has so much personality. It feels first like a skincare line, right? I'd say that 100%. And her typography, really, really nice. She didn't overdo it. She has big Caslon black and Avenir, right? Like, hello, totally free, totally great, looks good, and it just works. Her icons, I love her icons.
Love them.
This blush color that you've got like different varieties of it, and then that darker olive, like what a great, just to me, this is what a great impact and first impression this makes. The photography, beautiful.
Your mock-ups are gorgeous. You did a good job. We talk about this again and again of holding my hand as the consumer through the whole case study, and the way that you have community share your conspiracy. I know exactly what to do as I walk through this case study, which is very, very nice. I love your typography choices. Caslon is a good classic. I'll tell your story as we transition into the next one about Caslon. It's kind of fun. Today's type trivia day. I think that it's just happened. I taught design history for a while, so there's a lot of fun stories about that. So I think your type hierarchy is great. Your colors are great. And the thing that I think is working well here that you can use in your portfolios, everyone that is watching, is again, those opposites attract, right? Caslon has those serifs, those very sharp serifs. It is a kind of more classic font, whereas Avenir is more modern. It is much more modernist, and it has none of those serifs. It's very clean, composed, and the contrast between those two makes it very easy to read.
And you could probably make thousands of combinations that are very similar to these two, right? One really nice serif one and one sans serif one. And there's such a good unity between the two. I love the way she's used it throughout. I think there's great hierarchy in her typography here as well. You know, when she's on like newsletter, it has it in that beautiful Caslon in all caps. And then the next thing you see is a very friendly upper and lowercase sans serif font. And there's just the little heart shape. Everything just has such a very, very good, clean vibe to it. So I didn't catch, did we catch her inside the...
She's in chat. Yep, she is in chat.
Oh, great.
Rachel, do you have any design history book recommendations? Yes, Meg's History of Graphic Design is really great. It reads like a textbook because it is a textbook, but it is very, very nice. And Mengyi, I'm going to get you real quick on an eagle eye notice is on your numbers where it has the scan and analyze. You have Castle and Bold at the top and then our sans serif at the bottom. But in your header image at the very top, you have the serif in both of those. So if you're establishing your hierarchy, make sure your hierarchy stays consistent through everything.
There you go.
All right, let's move on to the next project, and I'm going to tell you a little story real quick. Which project do we want to go into so we can look at it?
Did you want to do the two sides of the door?
Oh, let's do that one.
All
right, so here's my story.
Buckle up,
about
everybody.
So one, there is a version of the Declaration of Independence that is printed in Caslon. Our friend Benjamin Franklin was a huge fan of Caslon when it came out, both the man and the typeface. And a competition came out from a guy named Baskerville that you may have in your computers, you may have seen. And so Caslon and Baskerville had this rivalry. Baskerville came out and everyone said like, oh, it gives me a headache. It's too hard to read. It's too modern. And so Benjamin Franklin, being a trickster, would print things in Caslon and tell them that it was Baskerville. And people would be like, oh no, it hurts my head. It's such a headache. And they would complain. And he's like, no,
I remember hearing this.
This is Caslon and you love Caslon. You're just doing it because you don't want something new and you don't want anyone new on the scene. So he was a little trickster. He loved type and he pushed for the Declaration of Independence to be printed in Caslon. So a little bit of type history for you.
Now you know.
The
more you know.
Yes. Let's go ahead. Yes. I need that transition as a button.
Sorry. How do we get that GIF with transparency? That would be amazing.
Yes. All right. So going into the two sides of every door project, let's go ahead and just look at the type at the beginning. And do you have any commentary on this type choice?
I'm cool with it. I mean, I think she's added some cool distress thing to it with the door. To me, it reads well. I always say too, like, if I start looking into her sketching, and if you can just go down to the first row of the sketches, she's definitely knows how to mess up and clean up and do all these cool little vibes to the type. So maybe the end result might have been a little bit of a letdown, because I see your thinking here. Maybe it just needs a little more. Like I can almost imagine if she hand cut these or did something where it wasn't so uniform and clean, but all of it had a bit of a roughness to it or something. Because man, you're giving us some cool stuff in this first few slides, man.
I was gonna say, so it's interesting to me to see your handwriting being so clean, your sketches being so clean, and then these type treatments being so dirty and crazy. Is like, oh, those are intentional choices. It's not that it's just like, oh, these are rough sketches. Like you're intentionally choosing to sketch like that. And so I think that's really, really cool. I love the Saul Boss, the nod to Saul Boss. If you guys don't know, go check it out. But I love that you showed your process here as well as the construction. I agree that you could have pushed the type in a different direction. I do like the refinedness of this. It feels very AMC, TNT, very like network television, which I think could work. So let's go further in and see if it works in application.
So hold on that poster, because right after that we're going to show them some good, amazing stuff, right? That poster looks great. I like the composition. I like the change up of I like how there's that reddish tint and that bluish tint behind there. This is where I can see maybe a little tighter letter spacing. The one thing you got to notice when a font has very similar shapes, right? So everything about this, the O's and the S's and the D's have a very similar thing. They tend to blend together a little bit if they're floaty. So I think if she tightened that up just a bit, I do like how the R is in front of the house, little treatments like that, kind of cool. Your A Perfect House there, that little handwritten thing, that looks like a font. She obviously has the skills to do something by hand.
Your handwriting's amazing. Right.
I would have done it by hand. Yeah. 100%. Right?
I agree.
All right.
So
what do you think?
I think there are too many typefaces. I don't know if you're using too many, but it looks like, I mean, between the type treatment, the handwritten thing, the subheads, the extra pieces that are floating up in the right, to me, I don't know who's saying this. I don't have a person in my head. And just like when you see anything that is presented by Nike that is that thick future of bold, you think of an athletic trainer, they're getting you to run. Here, I don't know what it is. I don't know who's talking to me. So I would refine it a little bit to maybe have a serif, because it feels like it is a film festival. It's at the Egyptian theater. So either make it very modern or make it like it is this refined event.
Cool.
Now let's get into the totally amazing stuff that I'll have pretty much no feedback on.
This is so nice. Look at this setup. Wow.
Look at this stuff.
Just beautiful. I mean, this is like, if you are a recruiter, if you are a hiring creative and you come across this, and even if I don't have to hire this person to do this anytime soon at my agency, this would shout just such confidence and such like creativity. I love the building of this. This is fantastic. It looks so good. If you are, she's there. Tell us, give us a line or two about how you made this. I'm assuming this is all handcrafted. There might be some photoshopping over it, maybe. I'm assuming, maybe in that embossment, or did you do that? I'd love to know. I want to know. It's so cool.
Yeah, there are so many cool elements here. And I think that your type starts to work better when I see it laid out in the magazine. Like the way you're playing with the cutouts, I start to get it. And you know what? I don't mind the handwritten font on like the DVDs and that kind of stuff. I think just the promo poster, I was like, oh yeah, you can do that. But then looking at it as a system, I'm like, oh yeah, you definitely need a font for that because you're using it so much. So I'm not mad about that anymore. Looking at some of your spreads, so like the blue spread on the left, Nick, as you scroll down, that huge type to me is telling me everything. Like, I'm like, cool, I got it. Yep, she hand built them, she said in chat. That's crazy.
Beautiful. And the spreads. Oh my gosh.
Yes, look at the tickets. Look at the tickets. The tickets are like glass.
Oh my God. That's so great.
Oh,
so great.
Oh my goodness. I have deceased.
Cheers and salute and well done job to you. This is like, this is such, this is one of those pieces. And when you build something like this, guy, you're going to keep this forever. Like this, you'll have this forever. Like you don't push this aside.
USB drive with like movie stuff on it.
Oh, what a great idea.
Oh my gosh. Yes, this is incredible. This is amazing. This is beautiful. This is such a great project. I want to submit this. Oh, actually, Lisa could probably do it. Hey, Lisa, can we pull this and send this to the Best of Behance people? See if we can get it featured, because it is gorgeous. Oh, and I love that you have images at the end of you building it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, so good.
Can I just say too that 2 images above the black and whites there, that beautiful shot of just everything at about a 40-degree angle there. Just what a way to end it. You got all of that there. Gosh, I hope this inspires everyone to just take maybe even a piece you already have that we didn't even think this would lead into this. We saw posters, we saw all this stuff, we saw great, film festival. And then she took it to a whole other level by building this incredible piece.
Yeah, and this isn't, somebody said that this looks like a senior project or like a senior showcase thing. To me, this isn't even senior showcase. This is like a presentation for like a $300,000 like campaign. Yeah. Like this is like big money presentation. This is awesome.
Yeah. I'm curious to how long it took beginning to end. Was this one class that you had to do it in? Because boy, I can look at this and be like, this could be a semester project. Like, if not more. So
that's gorgeous.
Well done. Really good. Really
good. Let's rock through. We need to do these next 2 pretty quick.
Yeah.
Rodwin,
which one do you want to go to next?
We're gonna look at Oh boy, I got it. Here we go. Rodwin Makanjera. I feel like I did a good job there. He is in Zimbabwe. We're going worldwide here. He's just got a couple projects, but we wanted to look at the typography and his uses of type in some of these projects. So we're going to start on Auto Champs. And yes, Nick, you can take it away first if you like.
Ooh, all right, cool. I'd first say ace the background, that little pattern. I think sometimes I know we want to fill space and we want to we're looking for something creative. I like that it is elements of your logo. But to me, I want to just see the logo in all its like beauty and not compete against anything else. kind of, I guess too, like maybe is this the right slide for the very beginning?
Yep.
Maybe not. I think it's going into a sneak preview of it and telling us, brand identity for. Then you can get into your background. I like the way you've done this here. You're being consistent with, I believe, what is considered like your title. So background is your title. Then you have your copy. You're being very conscious of your typography throughout not only the presentation, but the project itself, which is great. Let's see, where else are we?
I think when you're looking at your hierarchy, it looks like you're using the same typeface at similar sizes in different weights. I would work both with your hierarchy in thickness and in weight.
Yes.
And not weight, weight and size. Sorry, that's what I wanted. So the like asterisks here, this should be 20 pixel or 20 points less than what's happening in your body copy. Just play around with what the sizing is. To me, the body copy sizing is too close to the header sizing. So even though it's different thicknesses, I'd love to see a difference in size.
Not a bad, that's a good point for sure. I like the breakdown of the logo. Obviously, always kind of cool to show that a little bit. It's got the A, it's got the C, it's got the emergency flare, triangle, nice little combination. One thing I would just say is like after going through everything, and after what we've just seen, I think maybe a few more applications of showing this in the real world. I think we get that one shot at the end on your thank you, but one or two more things showing how this would be applied in different applications and scenarios. That really shows it off. I think, isn't it funny to think too, the way we are doing such rapid fire presentation and portfolio review, it's the same way a recruiter or a hiring creative is going to go through it. They might have just finished one and then you're coming in. So you want to just make sure you got the arsenal, you've got all of the tools in there. So just like we saw, you don't have to build a complete thing like that, but just be ready to have maybe a few more in here, balance it out a little bit. And I really feel like this could be a fun one that you can do. Again, bring in that human touch a little bit. I think we need to see a few repair people or a few customers at the store engaging with it and interacting with the brand. I think that would be really helpful.
And so looking at your type hierarchy, for me, I want to see a serif in here. It can be something called a bedonioid. Look that up for your type treatment, your type tasting. A bedonioid, it was made by, I'm just giving you all the history today, guys. Made by a guy named Juan Bautista Bedoni, I think his name was. And he was an absolute stickler for the most refined high-end fonts. He didn't think that his letters were for everyone. He would restrict them. And when he died, they put up
fonts for you.
Yes, exactly. They put up a placard to him when he died, and they didn't use any of his fonts. And it would have been an insult to his being.
Wow.
But using a bedonioid is something that is basically looks refined and very kind of like high end.
Yeah. There's also, don't forget, I think this might be going along the lines of what you're saying. You could add that font that's got, like, I always call it, it's got a slight serif, or it's got something about it that doesn't go old school, right? Because AutoChamps obviously needs to be fresh, current, new. That's how he's established it. There is a way of bringing in a secondary font that's not a Bedoni, but it's obviously got a little character that it's definitely different from the font he's using for AutoChamps.
Yes, absolutely.
So there's good balance there. If you can find something there, I think that'll look great. It could be in a lot of your body copy or a lot of your descriptive text in some of those applications down below. But other than that, like, it's really, really clean. Looks really, really good.
Yep, I do. I would love to see it on more applications. Put it on some cans, whatnot. I like that you have the applications at the bottom, but I'd love to see it in more context. And I love when people use gradient maps on photos.
Yes.
There's a treatment called gradient maps. It basically is taking all the blacks, turning them to one color, and all the whites, turning it to another color. So play around with those in Photoshop if you want to incorporate them. I think it's a super easy way to.
They're great. What do you call them? Like environmental backgrounds. Like they are good transition backgrounds as well throughout your usage and stuff. So really, really cool.
Yep. Yeah. Also, if you want to make something black and white, use a gradient map, and then you can adjust the black and whiteness of it.
There you go.
There's 500 of you here, which is really great. We'll be doing a giveaway.
Excellent.
Let's do the giveaway before we do our last portfolio. So let's do it probably
right after
5-10 minutes. Tell you guys about that. Maybe I'll tell you a story from design history. Actually, give me if you guys know a period of design or a movement that happened, drop it in chat and I'll pick one of those and I'll tell you a fun story about something that happened during that period. Test my design knowledge. So
Excellent.
drop some movements that you like or some time periods that you like, and I'll tell you a story about what design was doing then.
Can I add to one? I'm going to put Bauhaus.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's one of my favorites.
Okay.
And I love the Bauhaus fonts that Adobe just added. They're really
yes,
amazing.
yes.
So cool.
Let's go ahead and look at the fairy project.
Yes. Very cool. I do like, if you go through the whole thing, I'm really happy with it. I think this shows a lot. This feels a lot like some of the projects we've been doing in my class. I love his approach here and everything. I think what I would just say is, again, typography, hierarchy, and order are the big things that we got to work on. So you're hitting us first with inspiration in a font that has nothing to do with the brand, right? Yeah. So be consistent with the way you intro your projects, what the structure is, everything we've kind of talked about with case study, that kind of stuff. Then you can show us the breakdown, that it's what it means, what are the little secret elements that are hidden in the logo. And then when we see it, I think we're going to be much more like, yes, we love what we're going through here. Everything looks great. I think a few things I would say is that storefront. So we've seen that a lot, and I probably maybe have seen it more than most people because of a few projects I do. This one is a heavily used storefront. I would try, it fits your brand, dude. I think you nailed it here, but just making sure, maybe take a photo of a store in your mall, make it your own photo, something else, just so it's a little bit different. Maybe show us how you would, what's the welcome sign? How do we walk in? What does the brand say to us when we walk into the store? Yep. Little things like that, what do you think?
I agree. I love your treatments. I love the logo. I love the type here. Mm-hmm. I would definitely incorporate some more examples, a little bit more of like custom colors, of your type hierarchies. Show me some body copy. Show me maybe what a hang tag would look like, right? We have the leather stamp. Show me what a hang tag would look like. Show me an ad in the newspaper. Show me a coupon. This doesn't seem like the place that has coupons, but like something like that, some kind of promotion.
A rewards club or a membership, like on the app.
Yeah. Show me a black card. Yeah, show me like the exclusive black card for this. But yeah, I just love to see more of this in there. So cool. That's our feedback for you. Let's let me tell a story. Let's see. Art Deco, please. Okay, cool. So people are asking for Art Deco. Here's a story about Art Deco. So there is a designer whose name is Cassandre. Let me look up. He just goes by one name, just Cassandre.
The goal for all artists.
Exactly, yes. And so what he would do is he didn't really pay attention to the type that he was using so much as he would pay attention to the relationship of the type with the poster that he was creating. So cutting back to my screen real quick, I just needed to pull it up. I'm in the type. So he would work with type like this. And Art Deco is all about very sharp angles. It is about being refined. It's about the energy of that era being captured. And so you can see a lot of simple shapes. And this is a great example of his type over here on the side, is that it's not about the typefaces he's using. He's using at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this piece. Sorry, Nick, you can't see it. But he's using
that's
at least 5 on this piece. But it's not necessarily about how the type goes. It's about how the type communicates with the overall illustration. And something else that Cassandre would do that you can think about in your, and here's another great example of a bunch of typefaces for the Nord Express. Something that you can pay attention to is in his poster for L'Atlantique, he is playing with scale. So he has this giant Freightliner with a tiny little tugboat underneath it. So if you're working on a project and you want it to feel like it is huge, to have this massive presence, sometimes it's not about making it huge. It's about making something small so there's comparison in between those two images. So play around with that. Take after Cassandre. He was a very prolific designer, and again, focused on incorporating type into his posters, not just as an extra, but as a part of the work that he was doing.
Amazing. So
super fun. All right, Nick, what time is it?
Right now, it is time to give away.
It is time for a giveaway.
A year Creative Cloud subscription. Are we ready?
Subscription, yes. And so what we're going to do today, it's not going to be a chat and win where you just spam some random thing. We've been telling stories all day. I've been giving you insights to design history. And so now it is time to test your design history knowledge. We'll see if anyone can get this. I'm going to tell you about something.
Get ready.
And if you have the right answer to this question, drop it into chat, and we will be picking one of the people with the correct answer for what will happen at the end of this question. I can't give you a little giveaway, but here's the question. We'll be picking someone randomly out of chat that has the correct answer.
There you go.
And yeah, let's do it. All right. So here is the setup and the question. In the year 1962, King Louis XIV commissioned a typeface. This typeface was extremely exclusive, and it was something that he wanted to be used for the print imperial, the high printer. If you used this typeface and were not a part of the high printer to the king, what would be the consequence to you?
Oh, even better.
I know, that's
not
a great
naming
question.
the font. What was the consequence?
Not telling you what it is. Yes. So,
I have a feeling I know what it is.
Yep. So what would happen to you if you used this exclusive typeface made in 1692 by Louis the 14th? Let me know what the punishment is for using that typeface.
There's a lot of Googling happening right now.
There's a lot of Googling happening. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Carol. That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Okay. And drop your answers in chat. We'll be picking somebody out of there.
Yes.
See if you have creative ideas, if you know the answer. I know everyone's like furiously Googling. I tried to word it in a way that it wasn't easily Googleable.
I love it, dude. That's so great.
1692. Oh wow, a lot of people are just like chop off the head.
Guillotine.
Yes,
I love it.
Google's on
Google. Yeah, we should have added a hashtag to that. We would have been trending.
Yep. Banishment from the city. That would be an interesting thing. Just get kicked out. You're like, you're done. Get out of here.
Oh, maybe hands.
There's a ton of beheading. Wow, people are very interested.
What about chopping off the hands? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Andy.
Yep, throwing you in jail. Yep. Wow. There's a lot of great answers here. I like that the guillotine is a thing. Guillotine. Sorry. I don't know if the guillotine was like a huge thing in that era.
It must have been.
It must have been. Yeah, that's true. 1690s.
Maybe that's not the right answer.
You'd get tickled. Public
tickled.
humiliation. That's great.
I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of punishment if people use a certain font in class.
That's true.
That would be hilarious. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take your mouse away for an hour.
You just lose your
mouse. Have to use the trackpad.
Yeah. Publishing. I like the
capital punishment.
Public humiliation.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Public lashing. Yes. Oh my God, that would
all
just
right.
be
So the
horrible.
first person that had the actual right answer in the right wording, our friend Girotima Anant. Who I've seen in a ton of these streams. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Yes.
The answer is capital punishment. So congratulations, Giotira. You just won a free year of Creative Cloud for knowing the answer. So yes, the font is called the Romain du Roi, if you want to look it up. It was constructed on a grid system and was made mathematically by mathematicians instead of optically by designers. So it was known as a perfect typeface commissioned by Louis XIV, 1692. And if you used it, it was an offense that was punishable by capital punishment, which means that you would be put to death. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely crazy.
I do like Brady's burning at the stake.
Yes.
That's a great one.
That's great.
So flogging.
Congratulations. You win. Great job. And I want to talk a little bit about the giveaway that we will be doing throughout the week. Nick, do you want to talk a little bit about what we have to give away this week?
Yes. So we are going to do it again. We have another Creative Cloud year membership ready to go.
And
through
we might
the week.
even have like another. We may have a bunch. Who knows?
Someone's feeling really gracious with the memberships, man.
It's true, and it's our friends at Adobe.
Thank you, Adobe.
They love the students. They love investing in the creative community. So they have given us a whole bunch of Creative Cloud subscriptions to give away. And this week, what we're going to do is we want to see you.
Yes.
We don't want to talk anymore. We don't want to be the ones that are just talking at you. we want to see you. So on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever you'd like to post it, you can use the hashtag Adobe Office Hours. You can submit your portfolios, or if you want extra credit, you can even pitch us on an idea. You can post a full case study. You can record a video of you talking about
pitching.
Exactly why your project is good enough for us to give you a full year of Creative Cloud. Go ahead and submit those using hashtag Adobe Office Hours. And we will be following up next week, same place, same time, and giving away, I don't know, more than one. Let's just say more than one will be a winner in that. And remember to use the hashtag Adobe Office Hours.
Yes.
Also, if you want to follow along with announcements, you can follow Nick. Nick, what's your social media?
We are at Longo Designs on Instagram and Longo Designs Inc. on Twitter.
Yep, Longo Designs everywhere on the social medias.
Social medias and the interwebs. The interwebs.
Yes. And yes, Steven, you can pitch all the ideas. Please pitch all the ideas. And if you want to hang out with me, you can follow me at hoch.co. It's at HOCHDOTCO. Brianne, you're just joining us. Hello, this is Office Hours. We give you feedback on your portfolios to help you level up to the next level.
Yeah. Well, let's add this like criteria to the challenge.
Yes.
Being that right now everyone's got to stand out above the rest. That's the goal. Whatever you post, if it stands out as the most creative, the thing that we cannot not reply to, that's the winner.
Exactly. Yep. And if you want to, you can tag Nick and I on Twitter.
Please.
Just tag us. Please come after us. Let us get a restraining order. Tag us in your Instagram posts. Make it happen. Think of us as your clients. We have a budget for you. Sell us on it. And remember to use that hashtag Adobe Office Hours as well.
It has to include you in some way.
Yeah.
I think
show us you.
Right? That would be awesome.
All right. Let's hop into. Go ahead.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited. All right. Next up, let's hop into our good friend Nah-Rek.
Yes.
Nah-Rek. Let's say Nah-Rek.
Yes. Nah-Rek.
Nah-Rek.
Oh wow, you're gonna kill me, Nah-Rek. Mugnetsian. There we go. How'd I do?
Yes, close enough. I think. Let's start out. Let's see, we got about 10 minutes left. Let's start out at the Deco Inn, and then I want to show off the Deep Dish project because I think it's one of my favorite projects I've seen this year.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Andrew reminds me of a Disney character. Yeah, that's what happens in my head too. All right, let's look at the Deco Inn. Look at this case study and how he.
I'll let you start it off because I know these very, very well. Disclaimer: student of mine.
It's true.
Superstar,
yes, he's one of the students. That
president
is not
of Saga.
a weight on anything. We were looking through submissions, and I thought this was a good one to talk about typography. So we pulled it up. Hello, he's in chat. All right, so looking through this, for me, we're talking about type. There is too much type for me.
Gotcha.
It's good copy, but I'd like it to be a little more zingy, a little more refined. And I do like the combination of the sans serif headers with the serif kind of body copy. But I would play around with something that wasn't so large on these. And yes, our friend Howard is coming up next for an XD, I believe, Daily Creative Challenge. He did a masterclass right before this, and right before that, I was on with the Daily Creative Challenges. So it's Howard and Andrew Day here at Adobe Live.
Nice.
All right, so looking at your sketches, I like that you've kind of played with some custom lettering. I like the way a lot that you've paired this with a typeface. So a lot of times you can find a great typeface, but then pairing it with something custom kind of just takes it up to the next level. I love that you've named custom colors. We talk about this all the time. Creamy yellow, midnight blue, royal purple, sweet cream. This reminds me of that vibe of Palm Springs.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Your mock-ups are incredible.
Big fan of what he did here.
Yep,
totally cool. This is great.
I think your menu too, you could push your menu a little bit. I think that the type choices could be more refined. It could feel a little more high end, especially with the martini glass there. I would use something maybe that doesn't feel as fun. The Cool Cat Cafe to me feels too fun. So either go full mid-century modern and make something that's like wonky and weird, or do something that is super refined, again, using a Bedonoid, some kind of font that has those sharp slab serifs.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yep. So the whole idea here was to basically come up with a boutique hotel kind of stylize it under a theme, under something really, really kind of unique and cool. And my challenge to them is to imagine that you're pitching this to someone with the big bucks that is ready to open it, and your job is to come up with the theme and show them what it could possibly look like.
Yep, exactly.
So that's kind of like the idea here. And again, these can continue to go on and on. You can do so many different applications for these. I mean, it's a never-ending kind of thing. So yeah, I'm always impressed with what they come up with these boutique hotel concepts. It's really cool.
And so I would suggest something like the Tulsa type that's happening under your inspiration for that restaurant. It's something to me that feels specific to that kind of mid-century modern. It's a little bit of Art Deco. It's a little more custom and has a little more for me to look at, a little more contrast. So I would play with that.
Yeah, I know those outline fonts get a little bit funky sometimes, you know, with the drops and stuff. It's one of those things too. You got to experiment and find out how they work and if it's working or not. There could be something a little bit more in that zone of the vibe, which would be really, really cool. Good call out.
So let's jump over to the Little Caesars project. Maybe my favorite project that I've seen this year. It is so good and so fun. What is the brief here, Nick? Tell us about it.
Oh, this one's a good one. We call it the What If project, and it's basically finding a brand that has no business being in the personal care business of, you know, toiletries, anything for the home, anything for the body, anything for the bathroom. And now making 3 SKUs, completely coming up with the name of the campaign and being very clever with their typography and more importantly, their copy. They have to name these and they have to come up with things that are appropriate to the brand itself, using things that might be on their menu or SKUs that they already have. So this one was a real fun one. And for the first year, I made it completely mandatory to use Adobe Dimension. So this was their first attempt at Adobe Dimension.
Yep, and these Adobe Dimension mockups are absolutely amazing. I love your use of type here. It is a fun like nod to what I'm familiar with at Little Caesars, but like a fun twist on it, which is really fun. And I love the way that you have minimalized the type. You have a good hierarchy that I know what is the bold part. I know what is the like, oh, it's a shampoo. And then you have the fun pops and then back down to the measurements. Like, it's a really nice hierarchy to make it very easy.
Yeah, I want to say too, there's a ton of students in here right now that can all throw the link to their What If project in chat. I would love for them. I see Andy, Christine, Andreas, any of you guys, throw in the link in chat. I'd love to show off the rest of your work. Some of them did. This just goes to show Adobe Dimension is one of those things to get on that bandwagon and be able to do this. This is all free stuff. You don't buy a single mockup. And you can turn it, change it, manipulate it any way you want. Nah-Rek took this and just made it his own by the color choices. You know, you can choose the color of the caps. He put in like a little bit of a grain in them. It's just one of the coolest things to just show off your branding skills, you know?
And I like that in your sketches, you can see your type hierarchy. You know where you're going with the hierarchy in your sketches.
I'm glad you noticed that, because I try to get them to show that right at that stage, so it really comes through even stronger in the first or second comp.
So when I sketch out my type, I just sketch out like the boxes that I want it in. So the header is always a box. The body copy is always squiggles, and then I will use like a rounded edge box for something that is like a subhead. So for me, I'm just doing like, oh, these are what I want. Great idea. Oh yeah, check out Andy's. He did a really great one for Guinness. I'm glad you put it in there, Andy. Yeah, some good stuff. It's a fun challenge. You're gonna see this kind of stuff happen in your whatever your first or second job is. You have to do something that's unimaginable, or there's no reference out there to take a look at. How do you blend 2 words together that don't belong? You know? Absolutely. So thanks for joining us, everyone. We have 2 minutes left, but I'm going to start landing the plane early so that we don't get cut off, because I have bad habits on this show. So yes, thanks for hanging out today. We talked about type. Nick, do you want to give any overarching advice on how to use type?
Get second eyes on it, man. Like that's just the best tip I can say. If you got Andrew and myself to throw something to, if there's no one that can help you out and kind of look at it, so send it our way. We'd love to help you out with that kind of stuff. Man, just be conscious of it. Grammar, 100%, alignment, and font choices. Those are my three. You?
Absolutely. Yep. For me, my feedback would be find a Gen Pop person. So that's general population, someone who's not a designer. I use my roommate. Her name is
There
Amy,
you go.
and she is she teaches kinesiology. And so I show her stuff, and I'm like, hey, what does this make you feel? What does this make you think of? And to me, that lets me know what the general population may relate to it, so I can kind of augment to either way. So having that, and yes, if you have suggestions for what we should talk about in the next future weeks, drop them in chat right now. We have about 2 minutes, so get your ideas in for what we should be covering, and we'll be taking a note of those. Those are my overarching kind of feedbacks on type. Today was super fun. If you want to come back next week, same place, same time, but in the meantime, Nick, what can people do to win a free year of Creative Cloud?
Hashtag Adobe Office Hours. Put it on social, anywhere. Make the most creative pitch, anything selling yourself, visually, graphically, motion, whatever you want to do. The winner gets a year Creative Cloud membership.
Yep. So go ahead, make sure you're tweeting, you're posting on Instagram, posting on Behance, your best case studies, or a video of you pitching an idea, hashtag Adobe Office Hours. And next week, same time, same place, we'll be doing those giveaways. So yes,
every Friday.
Every Friday. Yep. So thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. And we will see you. Make sure you stay tuned next for our friend Howard Pensky. He always gets confused when I do this, but when we go into his chat in about 5 minutes, stick around, hang with me. We're going to do a raid on his chat, and I want you all to drop, let's do the monkey emoji again. So let's do monkey emojis in chat when Howard starts his stream in just a few minutes. Hang out, say hi to some friends in chat, and we will see you again next week.
Bye, guys. See you then.